platform. Sheffield United's greatest threat lay in the aerial route. Gareth Taylor equalised to keep Howard Kendall's side nicely placed. Saturday brought good news for Bolton. Second place Crystal Palace made another slow start. And how Steve Corica, one of the Australian players, now out to impress Terry Venables, exploited it. Goalkeeper Chris Day was slow coming off his line. Within 5 minutes, Corica's quick thinking had caught out Day and his defence once more. Wolves comfortably protected that lead until half-time. Just after it, two of Palace's Australians got to work. Kevin Muscat swept in the cross. Carl Veyet followed it with a sharp turn and wonderful shot. Just as they had at Bolton 7 days earlier, Palace quickly followed their first with a second. The product of more neat approach play and a crisp finish, this time from Bruce Dyer. But then came the romantic twist. Jeff Thomas, once of Palace and England, and out for 20 months with a career-threatening knee injury, put much of the doubt and heartache behind him by heading in Wolves' winner. Terry Venables has World Cup '98 back in his sights. This week, Venables confirmed he'll oversee Australia's qualifying campaign and he'll remain committed to Portsmouth as their club chairman.
I can't physically always be there, but it's worked right as it is, and it's either that's the way it's got to be or not, and people seem to be quite happy, and I think if I continue that in exactly the same manner, and David Hill is quite happy with that, that makes me very happy too.
Well, Portsmouth might be improving, but Barnsley are back up to third, even if this performance stretched the nerves and patience of manager Danny Wilson more than it should have. Wilson's convinced he now has the strike partnership to make a sustained push for the Premier League. Paul Wilkinson's played at the top level, so of course is his partner John Hendry. Both have been offloaded by big-spending Middlesbrough. Whether Barnsley's defence has got what it takes to exist among the elite is doubtful on Saturday's second-half evidence. Mats Appleby clumsily bundled over Lee Bradbury just inside the penalty area. And John Durnan's penalty was the beginning of Portsmouth's best spell, when they looked the more likely winners. Terry Fenwick's team carved out an excellent equaliser. Durnan was involved again. So was substitute Paul Hall, and this time Bradbury flew himself in at the far post to round off an excellent move. But having imposed themselves, Portsmouth's goalkeeper Aaron Flahavan then missed a cross 6 minutes from the end, and Barnsley defender Steve Davis was in the right place to make it 3-2. At Main Road, it just seems things get worse by the week. 26,000 Manchester City supporters endured another afternoon devoid of panache, points, and in the first half, luck. Tranmere's Sean Teal appeared to have handled, but somehow the referee didn't see it. Things slipped further downhill in the second half. John Aldridge flicked on, and centre-half Dave Higgins scored Tranmere's opener. It was quickly and rather fortuitously cancelled out when the former City goalkeeper Eric Nixon allowed Nicky Summerby's cross shot to squirm past him. But the City defence soon went one better. Tranmere found more space down the City right. This time Summerby was out of position, and Ian Brightwell turned in an own goal that proved to be Tranmere's winner. It preceded cries of Francis Lee out and a demonstration by 1,000 fans, bringing the curtain down on a dreadfully depressing day for the pre-season favourites. The signs are more promising for Trevor Francis' Birmingham City. Here's Peter Brackley.
Jackson. On for Tate. Bowen, who switched flanks to the right now. Can't play Tate in. Not the first time anyway. Here's Bowen. Chip through and a shot. And the goal from Furlong. Wilkins having to backpedal. Bowen. His persistence has paid off. Up goes Furlong. And such reactions from Fraser Digby.
George Burley can only hope 2 wins in 4 days have kick-started Ipswich Town's season. His team came through a test of character at home to Port Vale. Steve Guppy created Vale's goal for Tony Naylor, the quickest of the First Division day, inside 66 seconds. Replacing the injured Alex Matthey and Ian Marshall, sold to Leicester, won't be easy for Ipswich, but they still possess some quality up front. Simon Milton's right-wing cross was turned in by the emerging Adam Tanner. A fine goal bettered by Ipswich's winner. 13 minutes from time, Gus Ulenbeek's adventurous run unravelled the Vale defence, and Paul Mason won the points with a real touch of class. Stoke City fans were treated to the return of Mark Stein, one of their top scorers in recent seasons. Stein's on loan from Chelsea, but this wasn't much like old time. Paul Williams played the leading role, swivelling to give Southend a surprise lead. But one which they quickly set about increasing. 6 minutes into the second half, Phil Gridlett's header was sliced into his own net by Stoke's Lars Sigurdsson. Immediately, Stoke finally came to life, and Richard Forsyth found just enough space inside the area to pull one back. But despite some frantic effort, Southend held on for their first away win of the season. John Spencer became one of the most expensive players ever signed by a nationwide club this week. He cost Queen's Park Rangers £2.5 million from Chelsea.
I'm very delighted to say that a player of John Spencer's calibre to come to Queen's Park Rangers at the moment is a huge lift for everybody.
I think there was a couple of clubs that they end up came in. I don't know who they were, but once I came and spoke to Stewart, after 10-15 minutes, I decided that was the right move for me.
Spencer is Stuart Houston's first signing, and his contribution on Saturday couldn't be questioned. With 17 minutes left, Queen's Park Rangers had the first instalment on that sizable investment, as Spencer made the most of Trevor Sinclair's good work. But Reading responded with their best spell to raise more doubts about the promotion potential of Queen's Park Rangers. Paul Bowden's deep cross was made to measure for the wily old Trevor Morley. 10 minutes from the end, Michael Meeker, once of Queen's Park Rangers, curled in a cross from the right, and the match-winning header belonged to Lee Nogan. Rangers have now won just twice in 9 under Houston.
Yeah, I'm disappointed not to have finished in the winning side, you know. On the debut, getting a goal and losing the game. It's not as nice. I had to sacrifice the goal and took the 3 points.
Last month, Oldham looked a terminal case, but loyalty could be about to go a long way. The board stuck by Graham Sharp, and his side have now gone 7 games unbeaten. Coming back from a goal behind delighted Sharp as much as anything. Nigel Jepson's opener for Oxford was no major setback for Oldham. Stuart Barlow's form is a sign of the ever-improving mood at Boundary Park. And Oldham's consistent second-half pressure culminated in a deserved and really well-taken winner, scored by the Norwegian international Gunnar Halle. It's been a dreadful few days for Charlton Athletic. Another of their teenagers, Jane Notley, has been charged with misconduct after failing a drugs test. When Bradford's new Swedish striker Rob Steiner bobbled a shot past Mike Salmon, Charlton were heading for their first home defeat of the season. Bradford's man of the match was another Australian goalkeeper, Mark Schwarzer, but an Englishman made sure of the points. 13 minutes from the end, Chris Waddle saw the chance and seized the moments. Huddersfield Town hadn't won for 10 games. On Saturday, they were up against the bottom club. Here's John Helm.
Oh, that was a lovely touch from Payton, and now it's Dalton through the middle. He's got to do it all by himself here, though. Finally slipped it out wider for Lawson, who's got to pull it back and pull it across, and here's Andy Payton. 1-0 Huddersfield Town. So a corner for Huddersfield, who grasped the nettle by taking the lead. Payton's in on the goal line to try and put pressure on Piercy. Oh, and it was just flicked away as Lawson was coming in. And now Cowan turns well and delivers a great cross. And that's goal number 2. Again, it's Andy Payton. And 2 goals in 2 minutes from Payton.
Andrex. You'll know it as soon as you touch it. It's the best Andrex ever.